Are we ready to start?
Yes.
It is Wednesday the 26th of September and we're playing episode 12 of Curse of Strahd.
Thanks, Saxon.
Somebody had to do it.
Ghost of Strahd? Curse of Strahd. Okay, Curse of
You are really mishearing stuff tonight.
Maybe you need
just,
a hearing test.
ears check
How
or
are you
something.
doing? Do you need them washed out?
Maybe.
I think he sounds perfectly, but they're often distorted, except for Ray here, who
They're distorted? Seriously?
sounds always been distorted for me.
Okay.
If I've got two sounds going on, I just get the same thing. I have
Okay.
trouble
Maybe it's-
zeroing in on them.
Maybe it's more a cognitive
Is that?
thing.
Yeah, I think that's
I've always
cognitive.
been like that.
Yeah.
I'm the same. If I'm in a room full of lots of people talking,
You can't really
I
distinguish
can't.
between them. Yeah.
pick out words, whereas other people can have a conversation. And I
Yes.
Across a lot of
Our
noise.
role-playing sessions must be complete confusion for you because there's always everybody talking at the same time.
Except
True.
for now.
Except for now, when I'm pointing that out. So that doesn't work.
This is going to take 10 minutes.
Alright,
Yes.
not exactly, but we never know.
We never know.
So, recapping from last session, we picked up with the fight outside the Coffin Maker's store, where you battled some vampire spawn, and then went back to the inn to discover that the brother and sister
No, they
were
were
still
there.
Yes.
but Victor had gone. And
That's probably for the best.
Score! I win!
And so had Avio.
Score! I lose!
Then you went off to St. Adriel's Church, where you walked in and there was Father Lucian Petrovich standing
Father Lucian?
at near his altar, and he saw all of you come in, and his delighted face quickly turned to a
Hang
bit of
on.
despair.
Why is he delighted?
He loves seeing you. Why, who wouldn't be?
But isn't Strahd hiding in the shadows?
It's in his office.
Why would you be delighted? Because he knows he's hiding in the shadows.
You're not hiding in the shadows.
But
He saw you come in.
Stop having completely unproductive conversations.
Oh God, he'll have nothing to say.
You're the one. Weirdly enough, you're the one that's being a bit obtuse at the moment with everyone.
yeah, Mr. Aspie.
Yeah, shut up. To which Father Lucian said, "It was good to see you, but you shouldn't have come." At which point,
He didn't say it that
From-
way. He said stilted and like.
Stop it.
and then from Lucian's office area, Strahd walks in towards Lucian, and we left it with Dave saying a couple of things. First of all, the very last thing Dave said was hello, and made a comment of, "I'm out of spells, perhaps I should throw a javelin at him."
What?
So, we're gonna...
Did
we're
I
gonna-
say that?
Yeah.
I
So,
never remember
well,
that.
you said, perhaps I'll throw a javelin at him, it worked against the dragon. So, Dave, we're gonna pick up from where you said hello, and as soon as you say hello, Strahd in fact turns towards you and walks down the middle of the church, eyeballing you the entire way. If you wish to throw a javelin, now is your chance.
I'm not going to throw a javelin.
Okay.
There's not.
Never attack unless they attack first.
I'm going to run away.
Yeah, I agree.
I basically run out the door.
Well, we'll have to roll for initiative if that's what you're going to do, because you'll be blocked by vampires. The other thing that you notice is that crawling around the roof and the walls are lots of vampires.
Oh, they're doing that vampire thing that's so creepy.
The walls are in fact moving. You
What-
can't even,
what
because
level
it's
do you
dark.
have to be to get to
I
Because
say, here I am, take me.
Because it's dark in the
Number two.
recesses.
Is that actually a thing you can do?
You
really
actually
sure it is.
don't know how many could be in the church at the moment, but you notice a few.
This is what we call a talkies encounter.
Hey, haven't we got bones with us?
It's just climb sheer surface. It's not.
No, I left them back at the
We're
hotel.
not just standing
No,
still.
you didn't.
I grabbed the bones
But did you do
I've got
anything
the
with
bones.
and put them in a
Using
cross.
bones.
And it's like,
I do everything that's
But the real bones are actually at the hotel.
Anyway,
in the corner. I think.
moving on.
I've
But
just got to
but
say,
they don't know that.
oh, that garlic.
Can't stop me doing this.
Oh, misty step.
If only this were true. So,
What do you mean if only this was true?
I'm talking.
I haven't already got the bones. I've got a sack of garlic.
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes he talks
So-
to other people.
No, sometimes.
No.
Yeah, sure. Why can't that be true?
So, Dave, on.
Can you kill a vampire by driving a saint's bones through its chest?
You try.
Okay.
I think we just need to get the bones to the crypt, which is going to be impossible, so we're stuffed.
So,
Not if we hold the bones.
I don't have the bones. I left them at the hotel.
you don't. You brought them.
Yeah, I filled the bag with garlic and brought that with me.
Jesus.
Can we just get on with the game?
Is that what happened?
No, it's
Yeah, I
not
did
what
that.
happened.
Apparently, it's not what happened.
It's not what happened.
According to the
Why
master
not?
of the universe.
Because you're not the
you don't
GM.
retroactively
Or
stuff
even
us
the
up.
DM.
Because I think our plan was to bring the bones to the crypt.
church, yes.
I know, but I didn't trust any of you.
I so wish Jono was here to call you bad names.
So, Dave, he walks up to you, looks you up and down,
Hello.
and then reaches out, and whatever, and you can describe it if you want, but obviously you wear a holy symbol of Maleki around.
I imagine so.
Yes, around. So, whatever that looks like, do you have an idea of what that looks like?
It'd be moon shaped, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Because he's like the moon
Yep.
god. So it'd be like a crescent moon, like a Muslim symbol, I guess. Let's say
Okay.
that it is.
He reaches out, and he doesn't take it, but he holds it and feels the weight in his hands. Has no effect against him whatsoever.
Religionist.
And he looks at you and he says, "Tell me, Carrick, do you feel the comfort of your god Maleki in my domain?"
It helps a bit.
I thought not. So,
That was dramatic.
Oh, I thought he farted.
That's how we farm.
so anyway,
You weirdo.
Dramatic music, yeah.
And the stench of 1,000 years filled.
so he ends up with "I thought," and then just lets the weight.
It's bad mouthing me, oh god, what do I do?
From
Do I have a stake in my jacket?
from behind, up near the altar area where Father Lucian
Damn,
is,
wrong kind of stake.
he says, "I'm sorry that you've brought the bones here. In fact, they do protect the church, but they need to be laid on the original foundations in order for them to be effective. For the bones, this is the place of their greatest protection. It is also where they are most vulnerable and can be returned to their original form."
He's going to resurrect this idiot?
Hang on, this is the bones of a paladin, isn't it? Is that what it was?
We don't know. We were just told a story. It could be
Yeah,
any
yeah.
freak.
Well, let's just
So
assume the
where
story
do
is
the bones
true.
belong and where are we and where are all the vampires?
Vampires are all around you at the moment.
Yeah,
They're all
that's gonna
around
be- that's
the
gonna be
recess.
And are they in between us and where the bones are supposed to be?
Probably.
Probably. And Strahd definitely is.
Hmm.
So,
We could like bum rush him and one of us could
Let's
like,
go back to the original
get
plan.
dash for it. I
If
don't
we,
know.
if we drive the bones of a saint through the
Oh,
Strahd's chest, won't that kill him?
No,
I reckon that
the
would
bones
be.
of
I
the
reckon that
saints.
would cause a mild allergic reaction.
No.
okay, so he's now looking at the entire party. He notices that you are holding the sack. Without even speaking, two vampires drop from the roof and now have hold of Father Lucian. And as he turns slightly over his shoulder, he says, "Rip him apart if they do not hand them over."
Oh.
Anyway, at this point, Father Lucian says, "Strahd," and he's struggling against these two vampires that have a hold. And Strahd is just ignoring him, and he's just eyeballing the party, waiting to see what you're going to do. But particularly Xian, because she has the sack in question that he's quite interested in. And so he's ignoring what Lucian says, but then finally,
Gather around the sack.
Lucian,
Or we'll huddle close to the
says-
sack and start moving towards where it's supposed to be. I don't think they can touch us.
Yeah, but just
No, the vampire.
Hang on.
I took it off a vampire.
We did. We took it off.
And
Well, they were like
it
fledgling.
was-
They were fledgling
It
vampires.
was near impossible, but I did take it off the vampire.
anyway,
Yeah. Anyway, let's.
we will gather close together
And,
around the sack. Nevertheless,
Yeah.
Why?
because we're mad and we're desperate. Now,
But why? What's it to us?
Oh Jesus!
what's what to us?
What is this to us? What's the point of it?
Our survival, possibly.
It's the one thing that repels him from the town if it's put in its rightful spot, which we were just told.
repels him from the church.
Well, we're in the church. If
Yeah.
we're repelling from the church, that has to be a good thing.
But we're there with it, with him, with the
I know
bag.
it seems like an impossible.
I
situation.
took the bag off a vampire. So obviously vampires have no problem.
Yes.
So
Okay.
there's nothing.
Okay, if there was nothing protecting us, why haven't they attacked?
Well, that's what they're doing now.
Are they? No, they're not. They're posturing.
They're manhandling a priest who isn't a member of the party.
The priest.
Yes,
now-
they can probably rip him apart, but why aren't they ripping us
The
apart?
priest is saying something.
Unless it's all just part of the
Might
story,
be
in
a
which case
spell.
what we do doesn't matter.
Might be information vital to what her next
Yes, that's
decision
why
could
I'm
be.
waiting to.
All right, so
hopefully hear the
he's
what
asking
is-
for us to give him the sack, yeah?
Yeah. Well, why doesn't he just take it if he's so powerful in this situation and kill us?
So what part of the curse is that it has to be handed to him?
Maybe.
I have no idea.
Oh, he
But
might
there's
need to be
something
invited
we
to
can
the
do.
sack.
We just have to figure out what it is. Or
In
they
which case
will
I'll just
do
keep the
it for
sack.
us.
Maybe if we hear
Are
what
we
the
worried
priest
about this
says,
priest guy?
we might get an answer.
Well, if the priest gets ripped apart, it seems to be
It's
the
part
kind
of
of
the
thing
course.
that happens in
We've
this
already-
module.
We've already lost one priest and nobody cares.
Peter cares. Peter will never forget. I am very interested
We have
to hear
no
what-
weapon to go and rescue the priest, so the priest is gone already. He's
I
just living
I'm
on
very
borrowed
interested to hear what
time.
this
No, if we
priest
give him
is
the sack,
saying.
he'll
Maybe
give
we
it
I
to
should-
was waiting for the party to
No,
take
just
it.
yes,
shoot the priest before he says anything.
do we ask him?
Stumps everyone.
Don't do that.
Who's? Strahd.
Yeah.
What do you do if you give us the
If
stack?
we give you the sack, we're all allowed to go? Including the priest?
Let the priest say whatever the hell he's bloody saying.
If that is your offer, then yes.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
What was the deal? You're going to offer?
Well, we'll all go and let the priest go. He only wants the bones.
Yeah, only bones.
Maybe if we heard what the priest had to say, we'd have some more information to make a decision on.
Might be too late now.
What would you have us do, Lucian?
Don't give them to him.
Okay, let's.
The bones keep the church safe.
Okay.
Strahd. And he's still ignoring him. But finally, Lucian, after a pause, goes, Lord Strahd. And that way, you see his eyes widen, as if on his face he thinks. You get the sense that these two guys go back a bit. Okay? And his eyes go wide, and you believe in a way, I won't even make you roll perception, that he has never called him that. And so he pauses for a bit and turns a little bit more. And Lucian goes on after he says, Lord Strahd, don't do this. Think of your people. This church serves as a sanctuary against the nightmares that you bring. If you destroy these bones, there will be no protection for your people. I beg you, let these people go. Let the bones be returned to their place, and you may continue on. Please, I beg you. I will go with you if you let them leave. Now, here's what we're going to do. Father Lucian, I've given as a DM a point of inspiration, and he wishes to use it, which means that he can roll advantage. And he's trying to persuade Strahd. I intend not to fudge this roll, therefore I'm not going to roll it. And I decided quite a few episodes ago that Lucian, however very loosely, I had based upon your nature and how you would probably behave being a priest. Because you, my friend Ray, have a great conscience and are a good soul.
Ray's a priest?
No, in real life. You are an inspiration to me. So, you will roll for Lucy, where I will roll for Strahd.
Roll!
Roll 2d20s and take the higher result, and you have a modifier of +4.
9.
In total.
No, that's in total 9. Is Lucy's roll.
Oh god!
I'm so glad you're so inspiring.
I went first.
Who cares?
I have a modifier of +3.
TPK!
What the
frick? What is it? I can't remember.
By Lucian.
We missed out by 2.
3.
We get 11? No,
I
9.
got 12.
No, you got 11.
Yeah, I got 11.
No. 2. Yeah, missed out by 2. Or 3, depending on.
Is that a partial success?
Should be. It's a,
He doesn't appear to be very swayed.
Excellent.
The bones now, before we rip this priest apart.
Let's just hand it
I don't understand. Why don't you just take them? I mean, obviously you're stronger than all of us put together.
Ah, yes, call his bluff.
What bluff?
If that is what you wish.
Yes.
Yes.
No, I'm just holding them up. I mean, obviously the vampire can take it because the vampire had it
no,
already.
Lucian is willing to make the sacrifice, so should we be.
Okay, he reaches out and takes them.
Oh, so much for that idea.
Well, hang on. I mean, that doesn't mean we actually let him take them.
Oh. But isn't that what just happened?
I don't know. That's not quite what I thought. Why don't you just take them? I didn't think that meant giving them to him.
Oh, I just thought
I think that
could have
meant-
a fight.
Come
Yeah.
and give me.
Sorry, I thought the
man.
logic was that he couldn't. Why didn't he just
Yeah.
take them? I mean,
I know. I know.
Sorry,
exactly.
I now see what you meant, but that's not the way I perceived what you were doing.
Well, under that situation, if you want to intervene at this moment, I suggest.
No. But basically,
So we're around
she
some
has
interparty
just
conflict
given
later.
him the bones then. Okay.
You could have went no and reached out and I don't know, got your head ripped off.
do you want to
I
fight
don't-
these people?
I don't
Do you want to fight Strahd? Is that the point of this?
There's like more than
I
10
There's like
vampires.
100 vampires on this
Exactly.
building. He said the walls are moving.
50,
The walls are moving.
11-7.
11-70.
70 vampires on the wall.
Do you want to put up a fight?
We can't put up a fight.
How far am I from the door that goes to the cellar where the special bones should be on the place where they will make any difference whatsoever?
Oh yeah, when he reaches out, you should go.
I think I didn't start the Benny Hill chase music.
Can I do that with them? You do it?
Some of these vampires running around, suddenly a little old bald guy runs around, and then a nurse and big nurse runs
big
out.
busty nurse.
Yeah, how far away am I like from the door that goes to the cellar? I think it was a cellar, wasn't it?
It's a secret
Was it
entrance
cellar?
under the
Yeah.
altar or something.
It would take you.
Oh, so they're between me and the altar.
You'd have to get it open.
There's
and
nothing we
everything.
can do.
No.
We do seem to be backed into a
We're
corner.
screwed.
Anyway, he has the sack of bones in his hand. You hear him chant something in a language you don't understand, but you see that the bag
Just
drops.
disintegrates.
Yeah.
Oh, poodle pinkies.
We have failed again.
He looks at
I wouldn't
the.
worry about it.
We saved the orphanage.
Oh, that's true. We succeeded at something.
That's right.
How did we save the orphanage?
Built them a new chimney.
We put on a show.
Paid for it.
He looks at the party
Yeah.
and he says, "Soon you will see, Tatiana, that there is nowhere safe except in my company." And then he turns to mist.
Which one's Tatiana? Who the frick's Tatiana?
It's probably me.
Who's the lady that we've been?
Yeah, it's probably, yeah, exactly. It's you.
Probably me.
It's him.
Was he looking at Shian at the time?
Well, who the hell was he looking at?
Oh, he's
In
been.
the party.
He was big, majestic.
What do you mean he's big majestic?
No, he wasn't talking to any of us because we're beyond his...
Oh, he's doing the monologue to no
yeah,
one.
he's doing, classic evil man monologues. Tatiana, soon you will be in my company. Yeah.
So who the frick's Tatiana? Is that the girl?
Who's what's the lady we've been
She's
escorting?
Katina or something.
Irina.
Irina. Thank you. So this is some other person.
Who's Tatiana?
Raise deflating.
Tatiana.
Tatiana, will you come out, please?
We still live, we are alive, we are alive.
Hang on, we haven't even got out the church yet.
I don't care, I'm having a dance. No, he disappeared. What about all the vampires?
They're starting to
Leave.
leave as well.
Yeah, bye.
You
bye.
do realise also
11:70.
Or 11
the
December.
screaming that was outside has also abruptly come to a halt as
Excellent.
well.
We saved the town.
Only those who still have a face have been truly saved.
Let's go to the Wizards of Wine and ditch this place.
Let's get drunk.
Let's try and run out through the gate that we couldn't turn around.
There's no one to stop us
Actually, that's a
now.
good point. It's a good time to leave, isn't it?
Perfect.
Can't leave.
What colour is the sky?
Perfect.
You can't leave.
Why not?
Is it the colour of the
Remember when we came
apocalypse?
to the gate?
That's my
Yeah, but they're all
game.
being attacked by vampires. They'll be distracted.
No,
Yeah, let's
When we
leave.
came to the gate,
No, it's time to go.
not into the city, into the land. When we decided
Oh,
to turn around and go the
fair
other way,
enough.
we couldn't.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's time.
So,
It's time to go.
Father Lucian starts walking down towards her and he says, "Thank you for saving me."
I wish we could have done something.
You're
for the birds.
welcome. That'll be 10 gold pieces.
But it was...
Food be praised.
Shut up, you.
Well,
And you.
it seems we are in need of another saint's bones.
Do you have a
Do you have any
spare?
ideas, Lucian?
Hey, thanks.
We could murder them and strip them of their
It
flesh.
seems you were willing to sacrifice yourself for the town. That should
Yeah.
be sanely enough.
Come into this cauldron. Has anyone got any borax? No. Or lie. That would also work.
But not lying, because that preserves them.
Let's hold auditions.
Stop it.
The Morning Lord will still protect this town, no doubt.
Children are
doubt.
innocent.
And the Lord of the Moon.
I take comfort in the people who didn't know that the bones actually protect them still sought solace in this place.
And so they will. So
And I will do my best
what else could they do?
to defend them
Yes.
if and when the need comes.
Yes. Yes. Maybe I
It
should.
is a tragic loss, but
It is a tragic loss for us.
we will keep on.
Well, it's the church was persistent without the bones for a while there, didn't it?
Ask him
least-
why.
At least the DM didn't fudge it one way or
Ask him
another.
why Strahd wanted to go.
Fuck that up all
To
the
destroy
time.
them.
At least you didn't think he was
Ask him
purposely
why
being an
Strahd wanted to
arsehole.
destroy the bones.
It'll be some elaborate plan like the jade monkey and the gold parchment and
That's
the
what I mean.
other thing.
What's up?
I thought my Strahd wanted to destroy the bones.
Why?
What difference does it make for Strahd?
Well, it was stopping. It was
is-
a kind of a. It was stopping him from doing what he wanted.
But only
Really?
The
stopping
church
entering
was
the
a
church.
sanctuary, now the church
Well,
is
effectively,
a
it's
sanctuary.
not moved to a
isn't.
sanctuary. Yeah.
Isn't Strahd like... I don't know why I'm still talking.
I don't know why you're
Isn't
sitting
it
like I can't hear. Do you want me to leave? If I go into the kitchen, will that be enough? And you can because when you talk out of, you know what? When you talk out of that side of your mouth, I can't hear you.
You need
Were you speaking? Sorry.
Isn't Strahd like ulti-villain?
Ulti-villain?
Yeah.
What's an
So
ulti-villain?
who cares that people were protected in a church? I mean,
Well, at least they could go
At
to
least
the
they had
church
some-
and be
they
protected.
They had an option.
They had a sanctuary.
He's removed an option.
but why? Why bother?
I think it might have something to do with this Tatiana.
Who may or may not be you, but
So the-
apparently
the-
isn't.
He had to destroy the bones so he
Well-
could get Tatiana.
Well,
Or
Tatiana.
maybe he'll turn good like Anakin Skywalker.
Do you know what I think?
Because of Tatiana.
Here's my theory, right? Irina, right,
Yeah.
is like the either the descendant or the spitting image of some lady he was in love with like 5 fucking centuries ago. That's my theory.
The great.
Bram Stoker's Dracula.
And-
Great.
Nah.
Exactly.
Great grandchild.
Classic
Of
classic
Tatiana.
trope of that nature. And so to him, she is Tatiana.
And despite all that mixing
And
of genes, she
he
looks
is
exactly the
removed a
same.
place we could have protected her in.
Hang on, don't we already have a story about reincarnation or something?
Do we? We have some kind of story. We've had so much information.
So, she was a gypsy, and she was given to the mayor guy to hide
Did
them
you?
in
You're
plain
Tatiana.
sight.
You are Tatiana.
Oh my god.
Well, Vistani child in trouble is the tempter.
Arena is Tatiana. You're
The
Tatiana's
Vistani child.
Tatiana.
Hang on, this.
That's the tempter on the card.
Okay.
The monk is the treasure we seek. I think we may have found that behind the sun in the house of the saint. I think we found that one and probably lost it. We fucked that one up.
Yes.
The enchanter, we don't know. The paladin, isn't that the saint? Maybe.
The child Vistani Hurry. That's what I've got.
Yeah, the paladin is now cannot be resurrected because he's now.
Well, it's a separate card, so maybe it's a
Roman
completely
anatomy.
separate thing. Yeah, so
Maybe
the
I'm full of
monk
crap.
is Father Lucian. That's
No one's disagreeing. No one's disagreeing.
because it says, because I've written under there, behind the sun in the house of the saint, and then above that I've said treasure we seek. So that's all, obviously, yeah.
I have no idea what this is.
And then the raven leads to Strahd.
I think I'm just
Look.
confusing bloody prequels with this game.
Prequel!
It's easily
Pronounced
enough to...
prequel!
What did you say?
I haven't done a
So
prequel.
Jar Jar Binks is
I
Strahd.
think Star Wars.
He
Oh,
says
okay.
pre-equal and triology.
And
Prequel.
Dave, my favourite is free for 3.
Well, he does that all.
That's my favourite one.
Let's not pick
Peter, does that mean Jar Jar Binks is Strahd?
Jar Jar Brinks.
Yes,
Jar
his
Jar
brother,
Brinks.
Jar Jar Brinks.
Jar Jar Brinks.
How about Nana Minx? Who's that? Someone I made up. All right, shut
Okay,
up.
she's
there.
not. She's not the reincarnation, or she is. No, in the novel Bram Stoker's Dracula. Is it in the novel or the movie? In the movie, she's
The
the
movie.
in the movie she's a reincarnation, but in the novel,
There's no
It's-
connection with
there's no connection.
He just becomes
whatsoever.
obsessed with her.
Yeah.
So he's a freaking stalker.
A freaking stalker.
I don't.
It's freaking stalker.
So in other words, I kind of like this. I kind of like this hypothesis I have because it makes a certain amount of sense. To him, she is Tatiana. To him.
Free of Tatiana.
No,
Well, but he wasn't looking at her.
She's saying Ivanka, the one the doll is based on.
Ivanka or Ivanka?
Ivanka.
I thought it was Irina.
Ivanka.
Irina, who's got Ivanka.
Oh, Ivanka Trump. It's like, where's Ivanka coming from? Oh, I've just worked it out.
Jesus, the names here.
Hendrik and Vassal von Holt.
Again, none of you have really cleared up why he wants to
I'm sure reincarnation got mentioned in the
Why
very
it's
first
what,
episode
the-
of this.
destroy the bones.
Because it removes a sanctuary, which
Because
might
it
have become
removes
a
a
So when
bit
the
of
bones were in the cellar, he couldn't come in the church.
Yes, correct.
So, well, he thought that she was going to be in the church.
Well, it was an option. We had an option to protect her in the church. That's what I'm suggesting.
But
And now we don't have that option.
Monk. History.
You see, it's in
Something I
the.
can't read.
Do you remember the history of the church
Behind the
that
sun,
Lucian told you about?
House of the
Okay,
Saint.
so
Yeah, that's it.
this guy Adriel was never actually a saint, but because he stood up to Strahd and refused to go with the others, so he was basically like a soldier of Strahd, but he refused to join them.
Right.
And then he left and actively worked against Strahd. And
Yeah.
for whatever reason, when he built like this house, Strahd could never seem to enter this house, even if he wanted to. Later, when he died, some people worked out that his bones contained some magical property that was safeguarding the house. So they built a church in honour of him
on
on
top
top of the house.
Midi
But the
chlorians.
bones rested on the original foundation of
Anti-Strahd
the house. That's why the bones could be in the church and the vampires could hold the bones because they had no power whatsoever against them unless they were on their original foundation.
We came so.
In other words, magic.
And that's why
That's
the
right.
Earth is flat and in a crater on the moon.
Not on the moon. The moon is a reflection.
The moon
of
is a
the Earth.
reflection of the
Oh
Earth.
god, have you been watching this mad shit? As
No,
well?
he's basically on the train.
Right.
Oh, it's so.
Don't listen to it. Oh my goodness.
It couldn't be more nuts. It's kind of amazing.
I don't know. I feel like we could work on it.
Oh,
Oh no, you haven't seen it.
I'm inside the pimple on the ass of a baby unicorn. Now,
You need to send me the link to this.
So
I
why
really-
does
I
the
don't
there's
know.
do you have
Why
Netflix?
does the
There's
moon
some-
go
there's a
through
flat
phases?
doco on Netflix, which
Well, the
I've
thing
watched.
he's talking about, it seems very.
you are
specific.
clearly an
It's
agent of the
thing.
Illuminati.
But it's a
Possibly.
flat Earth on a really big, giant Earth that's 1,000 times larger.
Oh, I
than
don't
the
know.
Earth.
No, Sergeant honestly believes it's just like, and you can
Oh
know,
yeah, I've heard of that.
and you can believe, and you know that it is flat because when you look at the horizon, it's flat. That's it.
And things behind the horizon?
Are still flat.
Yeah, but how many stark raving loony bonkers people?
Oh,
Is
it's
it just
flat.
stark raving
Oh,
loony
it's all so
bonkers
flat.
because they want to be jerks?
Oh, so flat. So
No, he
flat.
honestly believes it, right?
Yeah,
He's head
but
of the
that's
Flat
what he
Earth Society.
says. That's what he
Yes, they
says.
do,
But
they-
do
does.
people who
He
really
does.
believe these things really believe these things, or do they just
Oh,
know
some
that it
do.
gets a big stir out of people by pretending to believe them?
Well, but you're basically putting your head up and saying, I'm an idiot. Hey, everyone, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, but if you want
Hey,
to just
I'm
do
an
this
idiot.
to the entire world, wouldn't the best way to do it is to just invent some cock and bull story and pretend it's real?
There's too many stupid people that will actually make stuff up.
You know people voted for Trump, don't you?
Well, they're the same kind of people who would just say, stuff you, the world, I'm going to vote for Trump.
Not everyone was in that.
Because I know it's stupid, but you try and tell me.
You try to tell me a thing, so now I'm going to destroy the world to
don't
spite
see
you.
anything anymore.
Because I don't want your name
I mean, what-
be liberal ideology,
Who's
so I'm
more
going to vote for
despicable,
Trump.
the idiot or the willful idiot? The willful idiot, fairly obviously. But
Yeah,
Shall we continue on?
yeah.
There's more.
Yes. That's right. Or do you want to end there?
No.
Okay. All right. Let's
Do you
continue.
get attacked by dire weasels?
You spoil all my surprise.
Vampiric dire weasels.
Now you need to stop reading my notes. It's cheating, Dave.
Who are all reincarnations of other dire weasels.
Zombie dire weasels!
Right.
Unicorn.
Okay.
So you leave the church now.
Well,
let
I
me.
want to ask a question.
Sure, you can in a moment. I want to remind the party you are. I don't quite know how your hit points are going, but I know you're almost out of spells.
Not almost, completely.
Yeah. What you need is a long rest, really.
Need a good rest. you
I've
pooch.
suffered over 33% damage.
But anyway, Ray, what did you want to say?
Well, we need help.
Okay. Are you talking as characters? Or-
Yes.
Okay.
Shown to
And
life.
general as humans.
Well, we need weapons.
Weapons?
Oh, magical
If
weapons.
only we had those bones we could sharpen.
If only we completed the quest, we might get one.
Who has a magical weapon?
I don't know. Something
Nobody.
here mentions a magic weapon.
I have a
doesn't it?
magic shield, but unfortunately,
I have a magic weapon.
if I ram my magic shield into their necks, that's a magic weapon.
Ray, I have a magic dagger I will give you.
I don't really want to attack vampires with a dagger.
I'm getting close like a real man.
Use your sword, magic dagger!
Get right in there like Chopper
Also,
would do.
keep
Give him a
in mind
good
that you're on a
shiver.
quest for a sword of light.
That's it.
Are we?
Yes.
Yeah, so where was that? How do we know?
Oh my God! If only you had notes.
I've got those, but I can't read them. Weapon of the sword of the Sun Lich?
No, that's
Or-
not right.
Or
I've written
Paladin
Sword
of
of Light.
Lead
Brother of Darkness,
It's the
Servant of
Paladin-
Let's
Light.
go through this door.
Paladin,
Go away.
the
and leave
Sleeping
this town
Prince,
to its fate.
the Brother of
house,
Darkness, the
Brother
Sword
of
of
Light.
Light.
Yeah.
That's all the stuff I've written down.
Yeah.
Is
And
that sunlight
many
or
floors.
sunlit?
Sunlight.
Sunlight. Oh my god.
I don't know if there's any.
You can't even read your own
actually
stick
there.
and scratch.
I need a T on the end.
Oh,
So-
yeah, I think you're just making it up.
So I thought maybe the bones of the saint would be that, but it doesn't seem to be the case.
Sorry, tell me about the Sword of Light.
So the sleeping prince, who's so like, we got this paladin card from the Vistani fortune teller. She like put it down. She went the paladin, and then she told me a bunch of stuff, and I've written down sleeping prince, brother of darkness, sword of light. Now, what does that all mean? Who knows? But it's related to the paladin card. There's a sword of light there, which almost certainly would be a really cool thing to kill Strahd with. Brother of darkness implies that Strahd has a brother.
Yeah.
Here's my interpretation, and that guy's like the ultimate good guy.
Well, what's the Brother of Darkness?
The servant of light.
Now he's a sleeping.
Light is the Brother of Darkness.
Or he's gay.
He's a sleeping prince. A
See,
sleeping
he got
prince.
gayer.
A prince. Lord Strahd, a prince. This is the connections I'm making, right? Okay. And
Maybe the
I
sword
feel like
is
I'm in a
this
marketing
church.
seminar. Sorry?
Maybe the sword is in this church.
Well,
No.
Do you need a whiteboard?
No.
no, I need those push pins and lots of string.
Oh yeah. Hang on. No, we just got told the bones were the bones of some.
Sounds like
some
lemon.
Yeah, but it could have been. He could be the
Side.
paladin, but that would mean that both of those cards refer to the same thing.
But the paladin's a brother of darkness.
Well, he was.
What's
at
the
least-
Brother of Darkness? Light.
Hmm.
And
So-
also, if he was a servant in the Knights of
me,
Of Ren.
Yeah. Knights of Strahd.
Knights of Strahd, then he would have been a brother.
Yeah,
The
it's-
Brotherhood of the Dark.
It sort of qualifies. So, where's
His crypt?
let's go visit
Let's
the
go
crypt.
Let's go search his crypt.
Okay,
Let's
we'll
go
search his
visit the
crypt.
crypt just in case.
Just
Before
in
we
case.
go home.
We're going
Because
to
the other
disagree.
thing I'm very concerned about is that Irina has just been spirited away.
What?
No, Irina's at the hotel.
She
No,
was
she-
last time we
The
saw her.
kid has
No,
been
she
spirited.
went with you.
That's right. We brought her with us.
Everybody
with
went.
us.
She was gonna
You took
protect us.
everybody.
So he was referring to her.
Well, was he looking at her?
That's why we got
Just looking at
confused.
the party.
Well,
We assumed it was Urban because Urban's the only
Do we-
woman.
I didn't assume that. Don't put words in my
I-
mouth.
You
What's the
didn't know
priest's
she was
name?
there either.
No, but I didn't
Lucian,
think
do you know who
Sian was
Tatiana
Tatiana.
is?
Does he know who's Tatiana?
Yeah.
That's a really good idea. Ask Lucian. He might know shit. Hey, Lucian. Lucian. You're waving and
That
there's
would be telling.
a paladin. I remember when I kept seeing visions of me hanging from a fucking gallows. Remember that?
Yeah,
that was the best.
I made a model and everything.
You're
It was
sicko.
fantastic.
Sicko.
Actually, strangely enough, I was looking at some pictures of antiques, and one of them was a wooden carved thing of a guy on a...
He looked like you.
He had the glasses.
Tatiana is not a name that I've heard before.
Oh well.
Okay.
Hang
Where's
on,
the
hang
bone?
on.
Where's
Hang
the-
on, we can
where's-
ask this guy other questions.
Where does the bones come from? Can
No,
you show us where the
no,
bones should
one
live?
per day.
You've been down there before.
Can we go
Yeah.
and look again?
Father, what's his face?
We searched the area.
While
we
he's
It's only a
searching,
really small place. It's like it's not even 10 foot, and it has like a stone sort of pillar.
Do you,
On where the
Lucian,
bones
do you
were
know
resting.
anything about the Brother of Darkness?
yes, that's my question.
Does this refer to the paladin whose bones are here?
Does Strahd have a brother?
He did, but he died many centuries ago.
Here's the news we need to know.
Where is he buried?
Castle Ravenloft.
Well, that narrows it down.
We must go to Castle Ravenloft.
Let's dress as washerwomen.
Let's go.
The family,
Not to disguise
We'll
ourselves,
take Irina with us.
just because we're insane.
And
the family tomb is in Castle Ravenloft.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
so what was this? What was the story about the light sword of light? Was with the Brother of Darkness?
It's in the loop.
Is that what you said?
So the hints I've got regarding the paladin card. So I don't think this guy is the paladin.
No, but the guy. Oh, sorry. So when we have associated the bones with the paladin, we were just hypothesizing which we were incorrect.
Well, given that they're separate cards, my feeling is these are not the same people.
We're desperate.
What's the other card?
So this card here, the monk, it relates to behind the sun in the house of the saint.
That's
Treasure we seek. That's the bones. Over here, on the right hand side, we have the paladin card, and I assume it means it's a separate thing.
Yes.
And the hints I've got regarding that is a sleeping prince, brother of darkness, sort of light. Now we just got Strahd's brother.
So tell us more of this brother of Strahd.
Only legend.
Perfect.
They opposed each other.
Yes. See.
Did he stand for good and light?
He did.
Did he have a sword?
I have no such knowledge.
As every such name.
Brothers have
This-
only
Did he have any
passed
power over darkness?
This sword clearly did him.
As we all do, yes.
Ooh, good answer.
And it's in Castle Ravenloft. Oh my god.
So whereabouts in Castle Ravenloft?
I've
Up
never-
high, down low,
Thankfully,
to the left,
I
to the
have
right?
never been.
to the north, to the south, to the east, to the west?
Sure,
There must be
sure.
something you know!
Surely they know where the freaking castle is. It'd be
Well,
the
not
place
the
you'd be trying
castle.
to
No,
avoid.
it's-
Where in the castle?
We're in the castle.
Where is the...
No,
Lucian's.
we're
No,
not.
No, where in?
No, I know you're not in the
We
castle.
are in.
Not where in the
We're in the castle.
Where in the
Where? There will win.
We're in the castle.
Castle.
Where in the castle?
But the door it is closed.
But I'm sure the castle is worn in.
Did you say you
That's
were a
right.
vampire?
Just like Peter. Totally irrelevant sentence.
Where? Anyway.
Oh my god.
It's alright, it's alright, it's alright. It's
Alright,
alright.
alright.
I'm just losing it.
Alright.
Just, you just got to stop jumping the gun, that's all.
Mr. Jumpy Gunny.
So Father Lucian doesn't know where the crypt in the castle might
Father Lucian, who would know this information?
Be in the basement, wouldn't it?
be. Yeah, I reckon it's. If we can
Come on,
sneak-
if there is a castle, where would people be buried?
the crypt would be in the bottom of it
Yes.
somewhere. So
Unless
if
he's designed it differently.
we can sneak into the
Maybe
top
he's
most-
put the bottom
the
in
topmost
the top.
floor of the castle.
if we can somehow
Is the
sneak
crypt.
into the bottom of Castle Ravenloft without getting ourselves rendered limb from limb
by the 5 zillion
by the 70 vampires that live there, then
70.
and one.
Okay, we go to Castle Ravenloft, go into the basement, grab the lighted sword and stab Strahd with it.
There
Do
are-
we win?
You're done. Right, we're finished.
Right, there's other stuff.
Congratulations, everyone.
Right,
Oh, was that
We solved
easy?
it!
right. There's a thing called the Force of Good, a holy symbol. Enchanter.
Yes.
Where's this? Oh, that one.
Not
I've written nothing next to
Not
the
a
enchant card.
flippin' clue where it is.
Well, I've just written.
Lucian, what do you know of the enchanter and the force of good and the holy symbol?
You should ask.
Holy symbol.
I think I need to
Force
lie
for
down.
good, holy
I need
symbol.
to lie
I think
down.
we also need to lie down.
Oh, my brain.
So
I've had a very distressful day.
So I vote we go back to the bloody inn under the assumption that it still stands.
We get there and it's just a smouldering hole
I
in the
don't
ground.
usually, and I hate to ask, but does any of you have any purple grape mash?
Do we? Do we have any purple grape mash?
I wouldn't mind a drink.
Shian has something.
Do you have any purple grape mash, Sharon?
Why would I have any?
You hoard everything.
Keep a big fat of it on your belt.
If not, you can come back to the inn with us and we'll have some.
Here you
there.
go, old man. Glug, 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 glug.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It sounded like you held him down, like poured him.
Why not?
I poured him a glass to his favourite cup.
So I say we go back to the inn and rest up.
Shed lights. Child Vistani hurry.
Okay.
So I had for that one Vistani child in trouble.
Trouble.
What's that? What is this word?
Do you want me to read these to you again?
Sheds light.
Sheds
Yes,
lights?
read them to us.
Okay, look, dead
Write
set.
them down.
One last time. Okay, Madam Ava's card reading. The first card that she turned over said, "This card tells of history. Knowledge of the ancient will help you better understand your enemy."
What?
Which one is that?
Have any of this?
Yeah.
She's about to tell us.
This card tells of history. Knowledge of the ancient will better help you understand your enemy.
Yes.
Okay?
Oh, that's monk.
Yes.
You didn't tell us that, so we didn't know.
Have you given me a chance to speak?
Oh, God.
It would help if you
The
said
treasure
card
you
first.
seek
It would help
is
a
hidden
lot.
behind the sun
Yes.
in the house of a saint.
Yes, we got that bit.
Okay, the second card.
Where's the sun? We are in the house of a saint right now, aren't we?
Yeah, it's
Hang
the
on.
Morning Lord behind the sun. Morning Lord.
But this is history.
Yeah, but we're in the house of a saint. Where's the sun? Is the sun in this church?
No, sun as in the sun that's in the sky.
Yes. Is there a big sun symbol
Yes,
in this
there is.
church?
There is. That's a religious symbol.
Where is it in the church?
It's on the
Oh,
back
right.
wall.
No,
Well, let's
It isn't?
look behind it.
It's not.
there's nothing like that here.
We're not in the house of a saint?
You are.
Well, where's the behind the sun in the house of the
I
saint?
thought that
Behind
just
the
meant the
sun.
Morning Lord.
House of
not.
the saint. The only
Okay.
other church is the one back in Barovia.
Number 2.
Number 2, which is the Enchanter?
Yes.
Yes, I'd be.
This card tells of a powerful force for good and
Yes.
protection, a holy symbol of great hope.
Holy symbol of great. So a force of good, for good.
What's the card?
Enchanter.
Enchanter.
A force for good. Not that it really matters. What else did you
Who
say?
knows? Every word could be
A
vital.
force for good and protection, a
And
holy
protection.
symbol of great hope.
So that one would probably be very helpful to us.
Okay? And then, in order to find that, she said, "I see a kneeling woman, a rose of great beauty, plucked too soon. The master of the marsh knows of whom I speak."
The Master of the Marsh.
Who's
Kneeling
the
woman.
master of the marsh?
Who knows?
Have we encountered
Have we
anything
done it?
relevant to this?
No, we haven't.
Who knows?
Is there any swamp around here, Lucian?
Mars.
Let's keep going. So, the third card. This is a card of power and strength. It tells of a weapon of vengeance, a sword of sunlight,
Got that
not
one.
lich.
Sunlight. Yes. And that's
Okay.
the Sleeping Prince?
And then she said, "I see a sleeping prince, a servant of light, and the brother of darkness.
Yeah,
The treasure lies with him."
yeah. Yes. Yes. I was quite certain that's in his crypt. Yeah.
And the last card. This card sheds light on the one who... No, it's 2 more. This card sheds light on the one who will help you greatly in the battle against darkness.
Which card is this?
Tempter.
Oh, tempter. Okay.
Oh, so what was the kneeling woman? I'm so
Is
confused.
that part of Enchanter?
Can we get this printed out?
You never told us which card was which.
Okay, so...
He never mentions it. It's a secret.
No, I'm going through each one.
Yeah, but
Well,
if,
which card is
if we
the
knew
rose
which
of
card
great
you were
beauty?
referring to, just because I've drawn them out and I'm trying to put the notes next to them. And so I'm waiting. I'm not writing anything down until I know which one to write it down.
Okay, so the one that refers to a sword of sunlight.
Yes,
okay,
that's
is-
the paladin.
That's the palette. We know
Yes,
that.
I've got that.
which is I see a sleeping prince.
Yes, I
Yes.
see a sleeping
Okay.
prince, brother of darkness, sword of sunlight, seek servant of light. I know that's
Okay.
not the order,
Rose of
but
great
that's the order I've
beauty.
written them
What
in.
does that apply to?
No, okay.
There's the tempter.
There isn't a card associated with this?
Hang on. Leave.
Enchanter.
Oh, that's part of Enchanter. I've just... So that's I've got force of good... the Enchanter's the holy symbol.
That's what I've written.
Okay, so
Yes.
the holy symbol, and that's the thing
Yes.
that leads us to the holy
Yes.
symbol. Okay, so we've got to find a marsh.
Hang on, I'm confused. So
This is the clue to the Enchanter card.
A frog is the master of the marsh.
But a frog's not... Oh, that's true.
Or either that or a wiggle.
so we're saying the enchanter.
Mudwiggle.
The enchanter. The clue we're getting here is a kneeling woman.
Yes.
Right. So I had that against tempter.
No.
And Master of the Marsh knows of whom I speak. Master of Marsh knows. He knows things. Must pull his head off. Give me an eraser.
Brains.
Eraser. All this is wrong.
Should I keep going?
Yes.
So the fourth card, she says, this card sheds light on the one who will help you greatly in the battle against darkness. Okay? Now, this is what she says about that. I see a child, a Vistana. You must hurry, for her life hangs in the balance.
That's Irene.
No.
She's not a Vistana. Well, not that we know about.
She might be a Vistana.
No, she's not.
That's probably right. She's not.
She's not.
Then
Well,
it's
that's
Shia.
my theory out the window.
So that's the tempter.
Yes. Tempter. Then your last card.
What is the card?
It would
Okay,
be the
yep.
Raven, according to me.
What is the card? Raven.
Yeah.
But, she says, your enemy is a creature of darkness, whose powers are beyond mortality. This card will lead you to him.
Look to
And
the
then
mum.
she flipped over. Look to the mother's tomb.
Yeah.
I've got that. Yes, leads to Strahd, looks to the mother's tomb.
Can we
That's
get a
what I've
copy of
already
this,
written.
David?
Sure, I think you've pretty much got it now.
Yeah, but I can't read his scribble.
My scribble's much needed in history.
If we were
Not a
recording it, we
competition,
also...
boys.
Yes, it is.
Oh, we're recording.
Not counting the saint, I think there's 3 other tombs we have to go and basically.
So the mother's tomb. That could be the mother of whom? Strahd?
Well, I'd say there may be a lot of. Lucian, do you know anything about the stories of the mother of the brothers? Strahd and his brother?
Not really.
Anything at all?
I remember she was
Fragments?
a woman of great beauty, I was being told.
Now,
Do you think she'd be buried in a castle?
Most definitely.
They can't all be in the
Okay.
castle, that'd be
Yeah.
madness.
that would be painful.
And are there any marshes or swamps around here?
Not this area.
We should just go to the Wizards of Wine.
Why do they have marshes?
I don't know, but it's the only lead out of you we've got, and that'll take us somewhere else.
Now, the monk card, there was something about history. The history is the only thing I wrote down.
I don't think we're going
Behind the Sun, House of the Saint.
Yeah, I know that bit.
The only other place I can think of that we've been to is the church back at the village of Barovia, because that had a big sun symbol on the back of the wall.
That's not what I'm referring to right now. I know that's the clue for the monk.
Yeah.
But in introducing that monk card, there was some
Let's go back to Barovia and check
something
out the
about
sunset.
history, and that's all I wrote down. I don't know if it's relevant.
Yeah, but I assume the history's hidden. The history's behind. It's hidden behind the
The
sun.
sun symbol, yes.
Yes.
Let's go back there.
But if this is not in the house of the saint, isn't this the house of the saint?
I would have said yes, but I thought David definitely
Lucian,
said
do you know
wasn't.
who the saint is?
It's the guy with the bones.
It's played by Roger Moore.
Surely we know that's it. Surely that's the one bit we know. Surely.
I guess you got the boot.
But
You need to
David
be
said
here.
there's no suns. Hey, where's the
Yeah,
sun
yeah,
symbol
yeah,
in
but it's
this
the
church?
morning Lord. The
There
morning
isn't one.
Lord,
He-
maybe that's the
Lucian
clue.
wears one, but there isn't one within the church.
Is the god of this church called the Morning Lord?
Yes.
It is.
So I'm just saying that might be the clue.
Is
You might be thinking about it a bit too much like Tomb Raider or something. You know,
Behind the
a
sun.
bit too Indiana Jones.
Well, if it's behind the sun. Okay, where does the
Where
sun
does the sun
come up
come
in
up?
relation to the
You
church?
In the west. East.
East.
In the east. In the east.
Assuming the world is round.
The
Which it
sun
may
comes
not
up-
be.
What's
It might
in
be
what's to the east
in
of
a
this
crater.
church? Or what's on the east wall of this church? Or what's beyond that? No, I've got it wrong because David's frowning.
Let's just knock down a brick wall. It doesn't matter anymore.
It's not here.
It's not
It's
there.
not here.
Okay, so there's either a third church which there probably is, or it's that church back
Or
in
it's
Barovia. Because I'm pretty sure
Maybe
when you told us
Strahd's
Barovia,
castle
there
has
was
a church in it.
freaking sun symbol towards the back.
Church of
Not sure.
Darkness.
I don't know. I don't know if it was on the wall or it's sticking up out of what was left of the altar.
Cheers.
Because I'm pretty sure the altar was destroyed, but I'm pretty sure you said there was a huge sun symbol. Some symbol? Some symbol. Symbol, symbol, symbol.
No.
There
There's
is
nothing in the description here about that.
I've got written down here in the corner: Udo, son of old Lardy, friend of priest, brother of what's a face, wife of Burger Man.
Oh, wife of Burgerman.
I totally understand why you are the note keeper of this party.
I'm not the note keeper. I've never been the note keeper.
I could tell you my notes say, windmill where the witches.
Oh, that's right. That's just outside of town. Let's go there and have a party.
All doors lead home.
Let's go back to the
When the
inn,
hell did you
and
get that?
so I can
Madam
read
Ace,
Oh,
spells.
said that
what's
second.
this thing? All doors. So just keep trying
Big
random
house,
doors.
lots of doors.
Anyway, you leave the church.
And the last note, many floors.
Why didn't you stab? You should have stabbed her at this
Is that F-L-O-O-R?
Floors.
Or F-L-A-W-S?
Let's press on.
Yes.
Where to?
You
Oh,
guys,
back
need,
to
some,
the
you guys
inn.
need some rest.
Going to the
You've
inn.
got no.
Going to the inn.
What you do notice is that there are a few bodies around in the streets that
A
look
few
like
bodies in the streets.
Should we loot them?
that
They
look
might
like
have magical weapons.
What's their
Is
equipment?
anybody watching before you decide to loot them?
that some of them
What?
Don't loot
That's
them.
not bio-libid.
some of them look like they have literally been torn limb from limb.
Then they won't be needing anything.
The guards are very busily picking
Gathering
up,
them up.
filing them.
well.
I will
Shoveling
wave
them
my
to your
hands
bows.
in a
Yeah,
blessing.
pretty much.
I will wave my hands in a blessing of the moon.
You missed
They,
that bit over there in the corner.
Moony moon.
They start to take them across in the
Moonies.
direction of the cemetery that's behind the church.
Oh, Jesus.
I was like, no, he's not there. No.
They've gone to squirrel heaven.
Yeah, what do you think? This is the opposite of Star Trek, where the sun will end up being Jesus. Jesus being the sun.
Anyway, you go back to the inn.
Someone should do a special on you.
You are there. Do you wish to rest now?
I do.
Okay.
We
I
all-
wish.
We all wish to rest.
All right.
Hang on, is Rotaro appeared?
Where's
Knock
the
on
I
his door.
don't think we should get too relaxed because any minute now the Burgomaster will be sending the crazy villain henchman after us
The
for
minion.
having kidnapped his son.
Excellent. I'm knocking on the door of Rotaro because I'm a glutton for punishment.
Rictavio.
And we know the second I start talking to him, you will want to be there, so you might as well join me.
Nope.
Not as badly as Jono wants to be there.
I'm
Oh,
going to hide in that
he
cage
loves
with the lion.
Ricardo.
Doop, doop.
There's no answer.
Look in the keyhole.
You see an empty room.
Oh, hang on. Oh, I've got this. Oh, you think you've stopped me, but you cannot. Hang on. What is it? Quick!
Do you have any spell slots?
I don't have to worry about no stinking spell slots unless I have to.
Exactly. That's normal. That's all we've got.
Ah, it's a
Yeah.
cantrip.
What?
It's a
What are you
freaking
gonna do?
cantrip. Into the room.
Crunchy munchy.
Okay, you misty step into the room.
I'm in the room.
You're
What do
in
I
the room.
see?
That the room is clear of all his possessions.
Who's buggered off?
Bugger off.
Possibly with Victor.
Excellent.
Do you want to notice something else?
Yeah.
Do you want to-
The door's unlocked.
Excellent.
Still awesome.
It was a good idea.
it's a
No, it was a
cantrip.
good idea.
I'm going to search it anyway, just in case.
All right.
I would if I were thee. Clues. Look
What
for
do
a
I-
clue back.
What I need? Perception or something?
Yeah, just use.
I've got
use
crap perception.
You're in the room now. Anyway.
18.
Well, what else is there? Investigation.
So in the room you find a latex mask of Strahd.
I find 27 miniature dolls of Victor.
Great, I like that.
So
That
Strahd
would
was
be cool.
really
The
Rictavio.
whole time. And he was on the dragon flying in disguised as a horse.
What the hell? But it's a saber tooth.
Yeah, it was never a dragon. We just thought it was for a while.
That's what he told us anyway. Oh, hang on, you
He
saw
was,
it.
he was actually just riding it across a really tall hill that he painted to look like the sky.
Oh, he's
I
a
just
genius.
thought he meant he was bleeding.
He's the best, greatest scam artist ever in history.
I seriously.
And he'd have gotten away with it if it wasn't for us
Yeah,
innocent kids.
You find a journal that is in the drawer. It looks like it has been left behind. Yeah.
Okay. I can
Well,
do.
Dear diary.
Dear diary, these schmucks.
The
will
weird
leave
looking
anything.
one has told me all the
The
secrets
last and
I
final.
need to know.
No, the weird thing it'll be my diary, but from the future. Okay, I'm gonna frickin' start reading.
Okay,
this
sorry.
piece of
You see
madness.
stories in it which you have heard before. Things like a werechild boy who transforms into a rabbit at the sight of the full moon. A story about a half-orc woman named Gorbak.
Oh, this is his list of stories. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Notes in the margins?
The very last story in there is about a small man with no legs named Fillmore Stunk who could drink whole casks of wine without getting drunk.
That's you. It's a metaphor.
What's a metaphor?
How
It's an
stupid
allegory.
I am.
What have I done?
Well, I'm keeping this.
Do you know
mine
what?
now.
Also,
I had a crazy idea.
he has other conversations in there which are not really, but they're all addressed to Drusilla.
Hang on.
Dear Drusilla, I travelled up this long dusty road today. Should I do it in his voice?
Yes, you should
I
do
travelled up this long dusty road today, and I came across the most elegant woman that I could not put.
So he's telling Drusilla about this
He,
elegant.
hang on. Drusilla's the name of his dragon. I think.
It doesn't have a dragon.
Horse?
You know, that's what he called it.
We're dragon.
He called it Drusilla the dragon.
Yes.
Oh, his
He
creature.
didn't?
I don't know where that's coming
That's
from.
his horse's
Oh, I
name?
love it. I love it.
Okay.
Ah, it has a horse.
He's
that-
he's writing letters to his horse in his
Why not?
He's
story.
writing letters to his horse, talking about women that he's seen.
Sounds brilliant. I
So
love
keep
it.
going. We saw this lovely woman.
He hasn't finished it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I have a really wacky idea that there's actually a whole other sections written in invisible ink, and we just have to work it out.
Oh, maybe if you read every third letter.
Oh, it's like the Bible code. You just have
It's all divisible by 3.
lemon juice.
If you take
Candle
every third
lightly
letter and
over
count them into
pages
Oh,
just to
that's
see if any lemon
You
juice
better
stuff
set the
comes
hotel
out.
on
No,
fire,
lemon
aren't
juice
you?
stuff.
That would have been fun.
But you do have a lovely, it's nicely leather bound, this journal.
Rip the cover off.
there might be something sewn into the
Oh, this is
inside.
Also, with a roll of 18, as you continue to peruse the
Yeah.
room, you think the room, with the possessions gathered up, was vacated quite quickly,
Hmm.
which is why maybe the journal was left behind.
Hang on to it.
Yes.
Add it to your possessions.
Maybe he left quickly because the town was being attacked by vampires. That might cause people to run.
Not some people! They'll stand and fight!
But not. We're talking about Rictavio here.
Who we know
Talking
next to
about
nothing
the
about.
paladin.
Victavio. We know very little about him, but he knows everything about us.
Oh,
He doesn't
yeah.
strike me as the kind of person who stands around to fight vampires.
Victavio.
Anyway,
Yes, he is a vampire. But yeah.
Victavio.
I think we would have noticed if he was a freaking vampire.
Yes.
I know it's ironic me saying that.
Well, the fact that we
Irina
have our
and
necks,
Ismark
he was
could
probably
be
a
a
ring
Renfield.
boy.
You're not actually a vampire.
no.
Theoretically, gaming wise, on the rules, no, I'm not actually a vampire.
Yes.
You are a warlock.
You are not a vampire.
I can just enthrall people, and I have vampire drain, and I can do misty step.
Anyway,
Soon I won't have a reflection.
Anyway,
Won't we look forward to that?
That's one of my negatives.
oh my god, really?
It is.
Oh my god, why don't they just call it vampire?
Well, you know, there's other negatives.
So it's not just a
I think it's
vampire.
random. I can't remember.
We'd have to look.
As I get higher up in the thing, I start getting things like animals fear me, and I don't
Sure.
have a reflection.
Sure.
And I get cadaverous.
Perfect. All right.
Well, even paler than you are now.
Irina and Ismark, thank you very much for
Yeah.
your protection of them today.
Yeah, it's been great.
Oh,
yeah,
who's
yeah.
saying this?
They are
Irina and Ismark.
Oh, thank you.
Irina and Ismark, who are still alive somehow by some miracle.
Who's this, mate?
Oh, that's right. They were travelling with us the whole time.
Ismark the Lesser. There's the brother of Irina.
The brother of the lady.
Who isn't really her brother?
Is that true?
Yes, because they found her in the. The
Oh.
priest told us
Yes. You
that they
haven't.
found her in the
You
woods or
haven't
something.
mentioned this to them though. That he told you that in confidence.
He told. Oh, I haven't. I've been told.
Oh,
I
we
haven't
don't
told
know.
anyone.
No.
Now, didn't she have a dolly or something, and the dolly repelled vampires or some shit?
No, that was the other. That was the girl. That was the weeping woman.
The weeping woman.
Yeah, in the village.
Hang on.
We went. We went into the hut with the weeping woman, and her daughter's been taken,
This is
and
destroyed
she
Ray.
had a
This
doll.
is actually destroyed.
She had a doll, which has. We still got the doll. Actually, I
You
don't.
do still have the
I don't
doll.
know who actually has it,
It's in the bag of holding.
but it's a protection thingy. It gives you protection, but she's
Why are we wearing it round her neck?
because we're idiots. Maybe that's one of the cards. Oh, hang on, the weeping woman!
I know, Jesus! Jesus! Except it's a kneeling woman.
It's not weeping woman.
It's kneeling.
Kneeling woman.
Master
Okay.
of Marsh knows who she is.
What about the headless ray?
The headless ray.
Oh Jesus! You're going to tip it down his throat.
Fortunately, I don't have a unit inspection on Friday.
Okay, so
Because if they come round, the Ray will be on the kitchen floor.
Headless.
So the house is quite clean, except for the guy lying on the kitchen floor.
We have a mission to find the woman's daughter. Yes,
you do.
you and Jono promised.
Yeah.
I did not.
Yes, and she's well gone.
And she's well got. Okay.
Irina, Katrina, Tatina, Mina Freema
Tatiana!
was found in the woods
Bad
apparently, I think. Found one day by Mayor What's-His-Face.
Found one day!
Because Father What's-His-Face, who is dead now, remembers the day he brought her to the church.
Are you waiting for me to say something?
I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
Okay, I think that'll do. But you hadn't told the party that, and
And I assume she was a gypsy. Because she's got red hair, hasn't she?
ish.
Reddish hair.
Because we do have the clue about the Vistani child in trouble. I always thought Irina was the Vistani child in trouble,
No, she's not.
but apparently she's not.
She's not this time.
But didn't we find...
Kneeling
in the
woman,
woods?
rose of great beauty. That's where I'm getting red from, because red roses.
Alright, you're jumping.
So she's a brunette, she's not a redhead.
Let's say she has red tinges. That sounds
Okay.
attractive.
Auburn?
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Or like her.
Oh yeah, green eyes. Yeah.
Okay.
But it can't be her, because that don't mean these holy symbol things in their
Yep,
home.
definitely now. Like misty pools of swamp water.
Oh yeah.
With flecks of gold.
Yeah.
Flecks of gold.
Flecks of gold, that's weird.
Okay, they're gone. You thought they were there, but she was looking at something golden. No.
We get some water, we pour her on the ground, and I say,
are you doing
does
there?
it look marshy to you? And you say, yeah, and then we found the marsh, and the next
I'll tell you
person we
what.
ask will tell us the information we need to
I
find.
go and beat the marsh. I'd go and beat the marsh into submission. So therefore, I'm the master of the marsh.
I think we might be out of Jumi juice tonight.
What the hell is Jimmy juice?
okay.
Okay.
Sounds bad.
All right. Ismark says we're going to rest. We'll see you in the morning.
Yes.
Thank you very much for your guidance
I've already
and
deleted
your
all my
protection.
spell slots.
Ow.
This is today.
Have we sealed all the windows in their room?
Oh, what's the
If you
point?
wish, you can.
Yes.
What's the
Okay.
With lead seals
In the morning, they'll be dead of carbon dioxide poison.
and garlic.
Right.
Garlic poisoning.
Don't forget the wax in the bottom of the floor. Because you like get down really small and sneaking under the wood.
And seep up as mist through the gaps.
At the very
Never-
least, it'll keep me out.
Never ever make
Anyway.
a fully airtight room and then stand around, then try and stay in it, because you literally will asphyxiate yourself with carbon dioxide.
I thank you for these words of wisdom.
It's literally going to happen.
Okay.
Yes.
You sleep for the evening.
Yes.
You get all your spells back, and your hit points are recovered if you have lost.
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
It is morning.
Oh, I have to re-roll my doobies as well.
Sure, reroll your doobies.
Re-roll the doobies.
Re-roll the doobies.
Are you talking about hit points, perhaps?
1d4.
You hear guards coming
Close
to
enough.
the inn.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, guys.
And they're asking
remember
people.
what I warned you about?
They're asking
before?
people to move
Two.
outside. They start to walk up the stairs. They knock on
Six.
Irina's door. They knock on Ritavio's door. They knock on yours.
Hello?
To the festival. Come with us.
Oh, I still got my slippers on.
Aha!
Let's
I'm now
move out.
53 of
I'll
your
just put my
points.
druid boots on.
Thank you. No
Druid
weapons. Festival.
Druid boots.
Let's move out.
I don't need
That
Can I take my walking stick?
No.
For I am a druid.
I'm
No.
covered with weapons.
No walking sticks.
I'm literally covered with weapons.
I can.
I
No weapons.
Take your weapons
Leave
off
your
and
weapons
get naked.
here.
I thought I might be able to get.
I just have to wait 5 minutes, then I can.
my
instantly
back
summon
scratcher.
it.
My
No.
no.
Right.
I just have to wait 5 minutes, and then I get the
I'm
instantly
hiding a
summon it.
knife in my boot.
What are you talking about?
My weapon, if it's more than a meter away from me for 5 minutes, it dissolves back to the material plane, and because it's a cantrip, I can just go by the power of Grayskull. I've got it. Oh no, I can't actually. I think I have to wait.
What are you talking about?
I think I only do that once a day.
Probably.
Or is that my armor? Hang on.
Okay, so
Doesn't matter. We're going to be baked into pies.
Irina comes out to your room and says, we're not allowed to take any weapons with us.
Yes, it sounds like it's the case. Yes.
Oh, well, let's leave all our weapons behind and go along.
I put on my punch costume.
Carrick,
Oh Jesus!
will you escort me? For your protection is all I need.
Exactly, because I'm fully tricked out and my spells down.
And she puts out her arm for you to take.
I'm a walking weapon anyway. I don't need a freaking weapon.
All right, so you head off to.
So we're heading off
the
to the
festival.
festival, the freakish festival of compulsoriness.
Wearing my punch costume.
I like it.
As
Good
you
enough.
now, have any of you concealed any weapons? Just so I know.
No, because I can
No,
move
I
bend
won't.
motherfuckers.
No.
Weapons are not particularly
Barely
concealed.
want to.
I
Hang
can
on.
mini beam them.
Hang on. Can I have your magic dagger?
Oh, but
Like
they
you can
can
see
art
that.
weapons, couldn't they?
You can have my magic dagger.
Okay. I
Don't,
conceal his magic
hang
dagger.
on, hang on. You might want to hear about it first before you accept it. It's the,
Oh, no,
it's the
I
dagger
know.
of venom. You gain a +1 bonus
It
to
is.
attack and damage rolls made with this magic weapon. You can use an action to cause thick black poison to coat the blade. The poison remains for 1 minute until an attack using this weapon hits a creature. The creature must succeed on a DC 15.
I know, right?
Forget it. I don't want your dagger.
Oh, Ray, don't be like that.
What can I say? I'm evil.
You hide your own dagger.
I'll take my burglar's pack.
I'm just going to
Okay.
leave my dagger.
The
of-
dagger of gurgling death.
I'll put it in the hump on the punch costume.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
Not as handsome as me. Oh, actually, probably he was more handsome.
No one can beat the power of Bunny Man.
All right.
What's he doing?
You see, You see that
power of
more
money.
as you start to approach the town square. You see that more posters have been put up. Come one, come all. The festival of the blazing sun. What you cannot fail to see
Oh, Jesus.
is that there is a massive wicker ball
Yeah.
up on top of this.
Is
let's
it
call
the
a
sun?
podium.
I knew my punch costume
Like-
would come in handy.
Huge sphere, right? Made from, you've got to imagine
This is my
hundreds of
costume.
faggots. That looks great.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask the stupid question. Does anybody have the ability to put out large lumps of fire?
I have the ability
No.
to make large lumps of fire.
Yeah, I don't know. This ball thing when it goes boom and rolls away and squashes us all
I
in
can only put
burning
a-
death.
People,
I can only put out 500 millilumps of fire.
people are gathered
I can
around.
make fire.
Let's keep going, guys.
Yeah.
People are gathered around the stage,
If somebody
15,
hadn't
20
done the-
deep. It looks like the whole town is starting to move
I
in
wonder if Victor's in the
towards
head.
towards where this
The head.
this
The head
of a
stage
wicker man.
is.
It's all
It's not a
head.
wicker man.
It's a ball.
Wicker ball.
It's
It's
a
a
giant,
giant
ball.
sphere.
okay.
It's a
It's
giant
the
sphere.
sun. It's the blazing
I wonder
sun.
if Victor is in the Victor.
Behind the sun in the house of the saint. But anyway, not true.
Vitalo's knocked him out.
Victor.
Victor is in the Victor ball!
You're not an idea. It would be bad for Victor.
6, 9,
In front of this giant
7.
giant sphere
Yes.
are about 4 smaller ones. Will look smaller compared to
These
the
are the flat
larger.
earths.
I did scaly in my punch
Okay.
costume.
What also you notice is coming up from the south of town
A procession of
is
small children.
is a procession of small children, and they are wearing very familiar clothes that you have
same
seen
punch costume.
and
Like I
and
made
worked on.
half of the costumes.
They're very bright colours, mainly yellows and orange.
Okay, not
sort of
white gowns.
colours,
okay.
no. The children don't look sort of too
More
happy.
versions of that.
Oh, fuck.
They don't. The children don't look too happy, but they're encouraged to be happy by the guards. The guards are telling them to smile and to skip and to, get into it. Up just off the stage, you see that the Baron and his wife are sitting in 2 lovely ornate chairs, and they're watching.
Made of wheat.
No, they're not.
Just in petrol.
They're watching the whole parade happen. Another thing that you notice as the and the Baron is intent on the parade. What you
Intent.
do hear in the background of all this is some lovely playing,
It's Jono.
and you notice your bard friend is Elris is playing a beautiful tune, and it sounds absolutely amazing. And the children move to this tune, and it sounds absolutely spectacular. Also, can everybody roll for perception, please?
I do nothing.
Oh my god.
I'm all drewed up.
Just 1 dice, right? Unless you're rolling. Oh no, John, I won't be able to talk to you anyway. You can roll for Saxon. Everybody.
Okay, well that was sexy.
What are you doing?
Try to roll better.
Okay,
Perception?
There you go.
you
I
don't
rolled
really.
one
Yes,
better.
go on. Right. What you got? Anything above a 13. Let's just be quick.
No.
14.
Okay. All right.
21.
What you don't. Yep. Okay. So what you both notice is as people are coming in, you see some guards go up to houses that are close by, and after they finish knocking on the door, and there is no answer, they kick the door in. They disappear for a little bit, and then you see them physically dragging people out into the street,
Yep.
and they soon join
Yep.
the crowd.
Yep.
It is in fact compulsory to
Oh
attend.
yes. I
If this place catches on fire, it'll be compulsory to leave. No one can stop us.
I'm dancing.
Maybe we can stir all the peasants up to revolt.
Peasants are revolting.
Right now.
Well, they don't want to be here. Any more than
No.
we do.
People, lend me your ears as I rally you to revolt against this evil guy who will not stop me from speaking.
I did behind you.
Oh look! Here comes Frankenstein's monster to rip my head.
For some reason, what I've got going on in my head
Yep.
is Radiohead, Burn the Witch.
So, speaking of Frankenstein's monster, he is in fact standing beside the Baron, watching this procession of children.
Who is, sorry?
Frankenstein's monster. You know, the head of the police force.
Oh, Isaac.
Isaac,
Hedrick, what's his
who
face?
has the collection of dolls that
Yes.
look like
Yes.
Irina Koliana.
Oh
Yes.
Jesus! Is she with us?
Yes.
Oh Jesus!
Well, she could not be with us.
Oh Jesus!
Stop saying Jesus. Which
Okay.
is very unlikely.
Alright, quickly, guys. So I'm wearing a mask. Should I give it to Irina?
Yes.
But then I will be seen, and they may know about Victor.
They know about.
Quickly, whatever you're
They
gonna
know
do,
who
do it
you
quickly.
are anyway.
Not, I've got a mask on at the moment.
Victor's seen all of us, so what does it matter?
No, what I'm saying is, if they see me, they know I took Victor.
They don't know that. Do they know that? Is that a thing they know?
Rick Barbio.
He may have, he may not have. We don't know what he did.
So you want to give them, they can cast the mask to...
I think, yes. At least
I give the mask.
Okay,
Right.
ready to ask it. She looks at you and she goes, "What?
Put on the
I
mask.
want to put it on.
Put on the mask.
What am I doing? Am I in danger?"
It might be better if you're not recognised.
We've already told her about this maniac.
Have we?
Yes, we
Yeah,
have.
you kind of ranted at her, but she kind of didn't really take it all in.
I'm
John
not sure she needs to.
Jono interpreted it into English for me because
Okay.
he knows
To a
about
song.
this maniac.
So she. Hang on. Let me see what
She
she
has a collection of lots of dolls,
Okay.
lots of dolls, lots of dolls.
Try persuasion roll with that.
Yeah, go. Roll persuasion.
I'm
Roll
roll.
for your face.
3
Plus your.
plus nothing.
No. You can, because you're talking to
He
her.
loves the
You
night
can
and
roll an
day,
advantage.
night and day,
Because she trusts
night and
you.
day, never ever strays away. 1.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Alright. She looks at all that.
Put on the mask, bitch.
We are doomed as hell.
Okay,
Doomed,
stop.
doomed.
Alright, for whatever reason, because you're all concerned, she just quickly puts it on and thinking, but she looks very confused by why she has to wear it. But since you're also adamant, she goes, okay.
Ravenloft's the most hilarious comedy.
Are you all happy about that now? Can we continue on?
I could not be happier about the Festival of the Sun.
This is the Goon Show version of it.
I love the Festival of the Sun.
Okay.
Soon we will all be one.
Okay, so,
Light of the sun.
In the light of the sun, we will be one. Oh, is that what they're singing? Let's say it.
so, the Baron puts up his hand for the crowd to stop talking, and
Yes.
very quickly, the crowd goes to silence. This is citizens of Valaki. Welcome to the festival of the blazing sun. Surely going to be our best festival ever.
We are not all virgins.
Can I have some super lucky, please? Super lucky.
First of all, before we set the sun ablaze,
Put all the children in.
we need to deal with some people
Oh
that have put this town in jeopardy.
no. Is that us?
Isaac,
Getting ready.
fetch them.
to run.
Isaac, in fact, moves behind himself, and you see who comes out is a
Is it bloody
lady,
Rictavia?
a lady that you haven't seen before. Let me get it.
Oh, we don't need to care about her then.
Oh, thank heaven.
What if she's a kneeling woman?
Get ready to run anyway.
Oh, for fuck's sake, she's got red hair and she's kneeling and we have to murder all these maniacs. Let's just do it.
The red hair was never a thing. You made that up.
Rose, Rose, Rose,
That doesn't
Rose.
doesn't mean red hair.
Rose.
Captain jumped the gun.
If she's wearing a rose, I'm killing you.
She's a fairly elderly woman, streaked back grey hair,
Hang on.
very
Safe.
thin in the face. She's definitely has a scowl on her. Eyes are quite
She's not great.
bright and fairly Vivid.
We are
And
burning
he
the witch,
says,
aren't we? Oh my god.
he turns to her and he says, Lady Watcher, you have been tried for crimes against Volaki, for bringing the devil Strahd here himself by your conjuring devil worshippers.
Hang on. Tick the cards.
Oh god.
Lady Watcher.
Lady watching.
Lady Watcher.
Not so.
What else can we
Check
do?
the card. Listen to yourselves.
Where's the clue back?
He says, put her in the star.
Oh god.
Star?
So he's referring to the smaller ones that are.
Oh, they're stars.
Stars.
I thought they were extra moonlets or something.
He's called them stars.
Yeah,
So-
like the sun and the stars.
They're small, but they kind of, you would be able, a small child would be able to stand up in one of them. Well, probably a teenager would be able to stand up in one
Old
of them.
lady just sort of squished them in.
Yeah, so they're basically, and then tied it off at the back.
Squat!
She just,
Are they
she seems
wrapped?
to. Mostly.
They're
Okay.
sunlit.
What's stopping them from rolling away?
They're heavy.
But when they set them on fire,
How
the supports will break and then we'll all
You
be killed.
don't know unless you
How
go
are
up
they
and push
arranged
one.
relative to the big one?
Just in front of it.
In a line?
Would you just flee the second they light this thing?
What are the ratios of the distances?
I don't
John,
really
we can
know.
leave Jono behind. He can die while still.
Good answer.
How easy is it to escape a wicker
So-
ball? That would depend on the strength of the wicker ball.
There's a question I thought I'd never hear.
We'll just lock you up in one and set it on
Okay.
fire, see how long it takes you to get
He then
What other
turns.
irrelevant questions can I ask?
He then turns back to the crowd.
Yes.
He says, "There is another here
Yes.
who does not
Who's
believe in the ways of Valaki and makes
Naughty.
fun of festival,
Nah.
Octavio.
as we will not have him here
No.
anymore. Everyone needs to be happy to
Yes.
have festival.
Yes, happy face.
Successful.
Happy face.
He says, Isaac, bring him.
Bring him, Isaac.
And none of you
hell?
would recognize this guy.
I'm Gollum now. Not
Except-
Gollum. Wormtongue.
Him.
Ow! It's your best friend,
You've seen
Rufus.
this guy
What do you mean,
before.
her?
Her.
Yes. None of you have seen this guy before.
Xian has seen this guy before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where have you seen him?
Are you asking me this
Yeah.
question? Where have I seen him before?
Just the guy you haven't
Oh,
described.
make something up.
You were apart from us. Who you see?
I've never been apart from you.
Whatever in your whole life.
Except when you were
When we're in the
burgling
gypsy camp, you separated
Octavio's-
from
Oh, with Saxon.
Oh, it's Saxon!
No,
It's not Saxon?
no.
Maybe it's Victor.
The guy who's tied to the chair.
It's Xian's father.
Who? You're Shan. You'd recognise your own father.
No, Luke. No, Xian.
What?
I am
He's
your father.
Shan.
What are you talking about?
Can we the servant?
No, not the servant.
The servant's your father?
You're as bad as he is. What are you trying? Stop making weird connections that don't exist.
No, Shan. The
When
servant
I
is
was
your
at the
father.
house putting
Yeah.
food around,
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, the guy in the room with the dolls.
Yes.
Yes, Dolly Man.
okay.
Did you just
So I
leave
don't
him
know who
there?
it is. It's just a
Yeah,
guy
we
who's
just
tied
left
to a
him there.
chair.
Just let
He's-
that poor bastard there.
He's with a lot less makeup. Though.
He was too busy kidnapping Victor.
Oh my god.
He turns to him and he says, Udo, for speaking out against Wolfhead Jamboree, we sentence you to the star.
What's his
Udo, son of
Udo.
old Lardy, friend of priest, brother of what's-her-face, wife of Burgerman.
Yeah.
Wife of Burger.
Wife of Burger Man.
I don't even know why I wrote all this stuff down.
Who the fuck is Burger Man?
The Burgermeister.
The one who makes the hamburgers.
Udo, it's not old Lardy, it's old lady.
Is his
Son
name-
of an old lady
is his
who is
name-
friend
is
of the
the
priest,
Burgermeister's name
brother.
McDonald?
I wrote this down because she was in the bloody church at some point. And she was worried about her son Udo, and I wrote this down.
But you wrote gibberish instead.
I wrote this down to go, oh yeah, I'll find him for you. I found him. I found him.
Quest successful! High five!
Is the old lady in the church the one in the other star?
Woo!
You do hear an elderly lady quietly sobbing
Oh,
in the
Quick, go
background.
collect your reward.
Oh, the druid failed me.
No, just go over there, point at him, and then get your reward.
The old lady being the friend of the priest being Lucian.
When she doesn't pay up, beat around the head with a crudgel.
And here's the interesting thing. Lucian, if I'm following this path, is the brother of the wife of the Burgermeister.
This is all redundant. He's about to be set fire to.
Yes.
Yes. Lucian is the brother of the Burgermeister's wife.
Okay.
Is
I'm
it
not
a
sure
good
how
time
that
for Elris Springsteen to stop playing and say, I protest?
He continues to play.
Oh.
So,
He's caught up in the moment.
What's happened to Elris? Has he become
playing.
he's become a happy...
he's my NPC
He's
at
a
the
happy
moment.
minion of the ceremony.
He's playing quite happily for the ceremony, but he does see where you all are.
Death to the unclean.
Yeah, he's starting to play a little faster. So,
They have been deemed unworthy.
the Baron turns
And cast into the bottomless
and
pit.
he says,
Of
"Citizens of Lockie, the sun will make everybody happy.
Smile!
I guarantee it.
Don't show your fangs!
Light the sun!" So there are about 4 guards with flaming torches that come around behind the back of
behind the sun.
Yeah,
Behind the sun?
Behind
Behind the sun?
the wicker ball, and it starts to catch fire. As it starts to catch fire, you can see the people in the stars that that are in front start to get a little nervous, but they're not on fire quite yet. They're just near the ball.
They're just near a giant fire. Yes.
Soon the sun will catch the stars.
Oh god.
Okay. So as it creeps on, then there's a murmuring within the crowd. And the Baron is still looking towards the blade, and he's quite happy. There's big smiles. Also, his wife Lydia is quite happy, and she's saying, "Oh, darling, it's beautiful. It's making everybody happy.
Thank God they're not burning the children.
That's amazing.
I thought they were
Look at
gonna
the
burn
smiles
the
on the children." And then the crowd continue to murmur, and you see 2 guys moving forward through the crowd, and one of them is obviously carrying somebody. And they continue to push their way through. And
Again, Victor.
and
Can we bring
you
Victor up a lot? I'm slowly back.
you hear the crowd going, is that Victor? Is that?
Oh fuck.
He's dead.
And
He's been
they're
strangled.
carrying, and as they're carrying him forward, you do in fact see that it's Victor, but he has a lot of blood on him, and he looks quite beaten up.
So he's not dead.
No. And as they go up to and Lydia just goes, "Victor! Oh my son, this is indeed a happy day!" And she rushes down and she takes him in her arms and she cuddles him and he goes, Mother, and he's crying and stuff. And then and the burgomaster goes, "The festival has returned, my son." And
Do we know who was carrying Victor?
you haven't seen these guys, but they're quite large set guys, but they don't look like
They may have
They're
just
town
found
guards.
him in the street, maybe, I don't know.
town guards.
Bunch of guys.
They're a bunch of guys. Some guys.
And she says, "Oh, Victor, we've been looking everywhere for you." And the crowd continues to murmur. And then finally, someone in the crowd yells out, "The law! He's broken the law!"
Who, Victor?
And the Baron says, "Be quiet!" And then someone else yells out, "No one is allowed to leave the village days before the festival." And you see the Baron's face just drops.
Oh shit.
And-
Did he leave the village?
And
He was just hanging out
turns-
with us.
Probably with Rick Tarver.
And he turns back and he says, "There is nothing. He was where did you find him?" And
That's probably a better idea.
the two guys come and talk to him, and you hear one guy sort of say, "He was outside the walls. We found him after he'd been attacked by wolves." And the other guy, who's a bigger, heavier set guy, just looks at the Baron and goes, "Wolves." And the other guy goes, "When we found him, he was almost dead, but we gave him a healing potion to bring him back." And the other guy who's with him goes, "Almost dead."
Excuse me, hello, excuse me. I wish to interrupt at this point.
Almost dead.
Wolves! Remember that you caused a lot of these problems.
Yes,
recently.
exactly, but I think I've got a solution. Or not, as the case may be. Hello there.
And Baron sort of looks at him and he goes,
I think this is impossible.
"Ludwig,
Yes.
what do you have to say?"
How could they... It is against the law to leave the town, correct?
"Correct."
So how could they have possibly found him outside the walls if they could not have left the town themselves?
They were not part of the town.
Oh, okay. Who are they then?
They are trained wolf hunters.
Ah. Forget I said anything.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Worth a shot.
Worth a try!
And people continue to mutter, "The law must be upheld." And Lydia turns towards the Baron and says, "What? But what are they talking about?" And he says,
Put him in the
it
star.
is the law that
Put
no
him in
one
the star.
must leave the town days before the festival. Put him in the star."
No.
And she goes, "No, don't do this. It's your own son." "Law must be obeyed." At that point, he's been dragged towards one of the stars, and as he goes in, he screams and points at you and says, "She kidnapped me."
Oh God!
I look behind me because I think that's where he's pointing.
I'm not there
Yeah.
anymore.
You can only go 30 feet.
You.
It's a cantrip. I can just keep casting it. I've got many 30 feet.
Cantrip.
Thank you.
Cantrip, not a cantrip.
Alright, so you're out.
I'm bling, bling, bling.
Um,
Well, at least Irena's safe.
and he says, "Bring her here."
Oh fuck!
And so then, as you're led up, Lydia goes, Sean, what's going on?"
Oh, she's talking to me?
"Yes."
I have no idea.
How the hell are we going to get out of this shit?
Did you capture him? Did you take him?
Who?
Victor! Did you take him?
before in my life.
Okay, roll on persuasion.
So, Victor is now accusing Sian of kidnapping him.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what happened.
Like this was ever going to have a good ending.
He's screaming, "I didn't believe I was kidnapped."
See? You happy ending.
Mr. Liepants.
21.
Okay. I'll roll for the Baron. So what are you saying? That you never...
Yeah.
I done never did.
I
seen it before.
never did.
I rolled an 18.
Is that true? You've been there hanging around their house making children's clothes. Are you sure you've never seen Victor before?
Never seen him before.
He's rolled an 18, so with his modifier. He looks at you and says, "I don't believe you."
If I roll a 21 and I can't win, that's pretty much it, really.
Put her in the star.
Oh fuck! Now what?
As they start to pull you over, you hear a voice from the crowd say, "She's a Vistani. If you kill her, you'll bring the devil himself down upon her."
Ooh,
Who's saying
On
this?
us.
upon us.
On the town.
Not her. Not upon her. Upon us. Yeah.
Just corrected notes.
As you turn and look, where the voices come from, You notice Van Richten.
Van Richten.
I'm so glad I've left.
And he goes, what? And then he says it again, even loud. She's a Vistani. You cannot kill her.
Yeah, I say, yeah.
And as you
I go
say,
stand next to him.
Oh, Jesus.
and as you say that, he says, bring me him.
Oh, fuck.
So you get taken by a guard. You put him in the star.
But she's a Vistani.
As you get brought towards the thing is, as you get moved towards the star, now the sphere is really taking form and it's really starting to burn quite brightly. And you feel the heat, the intense heat from the star. And as the guard tries to, and he goes, put him in. And he's going to, and the guard's like, the heat. And then finally, the Baron looks and goes, forget it. Send him to the gallows.
Oh, fuck off.
Lead you around behind the back.
Hang on.
Can I get in the ball that he was going to be put in?
What are you doing?
They put you up on a platform, Dave.
Or am I being held down?
They put a noose around your neck. They offer you whether you want a cover for your face.
No!
You don't.
You have to match the
You're
thing.
very brave.
We'll turn
Don't
him
worry,
into a
Ludwig will
squirrel.
save you.
Will turning into a squirrel right now be a good idea?
Yes.
Yes.
Do it.
As long as I fall out of the noose and not strangle myself.
Unless it's
Wait
What if it's a
form.
squirrel noose?
Wait until they just pull the lever or whatever, and then you do it, and then you escape from the confusion.
You feel the noose go tight around your neck.
Time to change.
You hear the
they-
guard move over to where the lever is. You see where the lever is. You're still looking out at the crowd.
I'm keeping an eye on that lever.
Okay. Flame continues to burn brighter and brighter. You sense that he is about to pull the lever.
Well, now's the time I should turn into a squirrel.
Do you remember?
Should I be a squirrel? Yes.
Oh, actually, right before he's about to do it, because they say this before all executions. The guard actually turns to you and says, "All will be well."
Oh, Jesus. Isn't it fun?
And
It's
then,
nobody's
and then, of course, he pulls the lever, and you change. But do you remember that Strahd came up to you and said, "Do you feel the comfort of your god Maleki in my domain?"
Oh, Jesus.
Because as you look out into the crowd, there is a figure with a hood
With a cow.
who lifts his head up, and you see that you are looking into the eyes of Strahd, who is there in the middle of the
Yeah,
crowd.
and by the power of Maliki, I will escape
Smile.
the noose.
He's winking at you.
And what you realize, Dave, is that in order to change into an animal, you actually cross into your domain ever so briefly, and then you cross back in animal form.
Mm-hmm.
And in that last instant, you realize that that path of crossing is blocked to you.
Ah, poodle pips!
You feel the ground come out from under you.
Mm-hmm.
You feel your body fall. You hear the snapping of
Up
your
my
own
neck.
You are quite dead,
Oh, shivers.
and this is where we will finish.
Shivering me timbers. It was foretold. It was foretold. Yeah, that's right. You just escape and leave us all to die. Typical Peter.
Set everything in motion and then
I'm a happy little tortoise. Happy day.
Now, I do want you to remember, I brought you caramel crackers.
Yeah. Oh, good. I've eaten them all now.
Yep.
Yeah, you can roll up
Yummy,
your
yummy, yummy.
character.
Here I was thinking I was going, I'm being clever. I'll turn into a squirrel. That'll fuck him up.
Do you know, can you think of a time, Dave, that once we entered Ravenloft, where you changed into animal form?
I thought I did very early on.
No, you were talking about doing it, but when we
Why
were
never actually
Do you know how careful I was to make sure that you didn't?
Do you know
how careful I was to make sure that you didn't?
Oh god.
Because you actually couldn't.
Oh.
And the only time you seriously talked about really doing it was when you were going to the coffin maker's shop and you said you were going to change into animal form to look around inside. So I put the bloody coffin maker on the outside of the store. So it stopped that.
Hang on. Didn't he change when we were in the road? When we went, how did you get into? No, you didn't. Jono
Jono went in.
Jono went in. Yes.
Oh, I've been keeping note.
Where was this? Where did this get done?
Wanaka.
Where's that?
Puzzle World in Wanaka, not too far from Queenstown.
Ah.
And you know where else I thought you might change into animal form? Would be to check out the festival before everybody got there, just to see what was going on.
Yeah.
So I deliberately attached Irina to you, so you'd walk with her.
So smart. Now I'm dead. Not even a dead squirrel.
If there can be any good
You're gonna rip up
news,
your character sheet.
if there can be any good news, gentlemen, congratulations on reading level 6. You've reached level 6.
Am I a level 6 zombie?
So the next time we play, we will already have leveled up.
I'll come back more powerful than you ever imagined.
As what?
The power of the moon provokes thee.
Yeah. We've just lost all our artillery.
What? We don't know what's happening. This is all part of the adventure, man. Yeah. It's like when
Don't worry.
it's like the time Urban's character Princess Bethany died. She got better.
That is true.
What? When?
I got better.
Oh, that's right. Star Wars.
That was awesome.
You remember Star Wars?
Nobody
You know
has
those films
died
and then made a role playing
Since
going
I've
around
been
it and
playing
started
the
running.
team, apart from me, and that I only died because I wanted to.
Ow.